I was at Vanderbilt yesterday, and they beat Missouri 17-10. And I got to put 3 chali on this game. And I talked to a lot of Vandy staffers on the field after the game. And one of the growing trends in college football is when we're at a game, one of the first things people ask is, how many chali? How many chali? 3. 3 chali on this game. We were fueled by Quick Trip all the way down the road and back. They fueled our trip down there. It takes a sophisticated palate to appreciate this kind of game, and I don't expect everyone to get it. But what I will expect you to appreciate is that this was a badlock bowl, not even just a badlock stat. And there's a lot of inside baseball nomenclature here. So on the show, we talk about padlock stats all the time. A padlock stat is if I told you this stat Friday, it would have let you know who was going to win the game. The badlock stat is like the deadbeat cousin of the padlock stat. The badlock stat is a number or a collection of numbers that if I told you Friday would have fooled you into guessing which team was going to win. So there was a team that outgained the other 376 to 265 in this game. There was a team that had a 22-13 first down edge. There was a team that ran 78 plays to their opponent's 45. There was a team with a 13-minute time of possession edge, and that team was not Vanderbilt. That team was Missouri. And yet Missouri flew back home yesterday with a loss because the game was won in the red zone. And Missouri was 1 of 3 in that portion of the field with 7 points, and Vandy was 2 of 2 for 10 points. Doesn't sound like a lot, Josh. Didn't take a lot. 11 points would have won the game. Vandy scored 17. The game was also saved in Vanderbilt territory. To me, this was the padlock stat. Paper popper of a padlock stat. A lot of alliteration on tonight's show. Missouri crossed the 50-yard line 7 times and netted 10 points. That's getting it done. That's opportunistic, situational, whatever you want to call it. And then there was a third quarter cap buster play. Young ran at 80 yards down the far sideline where I was standing for a touchdown. And look, in these low-scoring games, that's all it takes. It was just a nightmare of an afternoon for Missouri. Third quarter, 4th and goal, they don't get it, and then Bo Pribula is down at the bottom of the pile. This was a bad scene on TV. I had gone up to the press box for a second to see some people, so I'm watching. I got this idea in my head. All right, Missouri will score here, and then there'll be, like a 9-minute commercial timeout, and I'll have time to go back down to the field. Well, they get stopped on 4th and goal, and there's a big pile there, and so then I'm saying bye to some people. I'm about to head back down. I didn't realize Pribula was still down. I looked back down there, and I saw that he was down, and then they were tending to him medically, but I didn't know it was Bo Pribula yet because I couldn't see that far. Hey, really quick timeout. We'll get right back to the video. Do me one favor. Make sure you're subscribed. It helps us keep the show free. It helps us keep the lights on. It helps us keep doing college football year-round, and we appreciate it. All right, back to the video. So I got on the elevator and went down. It was a bad scene, man. It sucked because Vanderbilt Stadium is such that from the end zone they were in, you can't go behind the team benches on the natural playing surface to get to the tunnel that Missouri comes out because Vandy's benches go all the way up against the wall. So you got to take him under the stadium, which is the same area where the elevator comes out. And it looks like 1538 construction site underneath Vandy Stadium. It's actually kind of awesome. But it looks like the pyramids are in the middle of being built down there. And I walk out of the elevator, and there's Bo Pribula in a wheelchair with an air cast on his leg, and his parents are walking by. And it's anytime players get hurt, in college especially, I don't know why it's different than pros. It's so bad because it can change like that. So the latest on him, by the way, is he didn't break anything. Drink confirmed that yesterday, Eli Drinkwitz. He didn't break anything, but it's a bad sprain. There's ligament damage. There's an outside chance they think he may be able to come back at some point this year. Look, I consider that a sigh of relief, especially when compared to what it looked like in real time, because it was kind of gross in real time. So that's good. As for Missouri, it's their second conference loss. They still got Texas A&M. They got to go to Oklahoma. They got to go to Arkansas. They got Mississippi State. So it's just seasons can change on a dime. No better illustration of that than this game yesterday. Vandy is 7-1 now. They are 3-1 in conference. Now they've got a stretch coming up. And it's a really interesting position they're in. Okay, because Vandy has a 1-loss record right now. They can afford, if you're just talking about the playoff, they could actually afford to lose one more game and still make it. They go to Texas this weekend. They're a 2.5-point dog. in Austin, which implies they would be a slight favorite on a neutral field, because that's a world that we live in now, where Vandy would be power rated above Texas. Then they've got Auburn at home, they've got Kentucky at home, and they go to Tennessee. So, what's Vandy's record going to be? Everyone's paying attention to him now. They're not sneaking up on anyone. What's Vandy's record going to be? They also, just look, if you love what Clark Lee's doing there, there's going to be a market for Clark Lee. Now, unlike certain pregame shows, I don't have a three-letter agency in my ear suggesting that I pressure anyone publicly to re-sign Clark Lee. I'm just saying out of the kindness of my heart, because I like him being a citizen here in Nashville, might want to step up if you want to re-sign Clark Lee, or we want to keep him here, because there are more jobs opening by the minute. And people aren't stupid. They notice what's happening here at Vanderbilt, and they think to themselves, if he could do that at Vanderbilt, imagine, you know the rest. Quick trip. Didn't take us far yesterday because we didn't have far to go. We just went down the street to Vanderbilt for our second Vandy game in as many weeks. You know, we've been to more Vandy games this year than every other team because we haven't been anywhere twice this year so far, have we? I don't think we have. Homers? We probably are. We probably are. The Fall Don't Lie Tour is entirely fueled by Quick Trip. We appreciate them. Here's the conundrum. Have you looked at the slate this Saturday? There's no like marquee game. There's no main event game. There are a lot of comparable games. Which begs the question, where should we go? Now, in these kinds of situations, as Meemaw would say, what I like to do is I like to ask, well, where have we not seen a game before? So we could have gone Vandy, Texas, but we've been to Austin. We've seen games at Texas. This would have been our third Vandy game in a row. We could go where game day's going, Cincinnati, Utah. But we started last season at Utah. So there are a lot of places that we've been already. You know somewhere we haven't been? The land of Sherwood Blunt. You know, the land of Eric Dickerson. The land of Craig James. The land of Rhett Lashley. Southern Methodist University. We've been there in the spring for the speaker series, but we've never been to a game at SMU. That changes 6 days from now. Miami is going to SMU. It's a critical conference game for both of them, and we will be there. Doesn't hurt that it's an 11 a.m. kickoff. Does not hurt at all. But we are taking the show to Dallas. We are taking the tour to Dallas. Whomst amongst us knows we may spend multiple weeks in a row in the state of Texas. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. So that's where the Fall Don't Lie Tour is headed this Saturday. ACC homerism. Those will be the new allegations.